Hi, my name is Jeff Bollow, and I'm an independent film producer based in Sydney, Australia, or I was until I couldn't find any screenplays to produce. If you give me a few minutes of your time, I'd like to show you how my career getting sidetracked for 15 years is going to revolutionize the way you write screenplays. In this video, I'd like to explain the three fundamental problems of screenplay development. These problems are inherent to the process. They will always be there. So if we use any approach to screenwriting that doesn't directly address these three problems, we're spinning our wheels. I know this because I've been there. And as a thank you for your time, I'd also like to send you 2 free reports that take you inside the mind of a producer actively seeking screenplays. Now, I'm assuming you're here because you have an idea for a movie. Maybe you have ideas for many movies. That's great news. There are literally thousands of frustrated producers just like me all around the world actively seeking screenplays right this very minute. And if current trends continue, there will be more feature films made next year than in any previous year in history. If you know what you're doing, the opportunities for screenwriters have never been better. But there's a problem, and that is that producers don't actually want to read your screenplay or even hear your ideas. You know why? Because, and this is a fact, 99% of screenplays submitted to production companies fail to meet producers' basic needs. 99%! Across all skill levels, from the complete novice to the Academy Award-winning professional. How is that even possible? If you do a Google search for screenwriting right this very minute, you get 11 million results. We're swimming in screenwriting information. There are hundreds of books and blogs and courses and classes and workshops and techniques and systems and methods and gurus multiplying like rabbits. With all that information swirling around out there, how is it even possible that 99% of screenplays still fail to meet producers' basic needs? The answer? Because of the 3 fundamental problems of screenplay development. Let's look briefly at these 3 problems, and then I'll introduce my solution and show you how to get that free ebook. Problem number 1 is the big one, the money problem. You've got an idea for a movie, but we can't shoot an idea, and turning that idea into a screenplay takes time. And time, as we all know, is money. Who pays for the time it takes to turn that idea into a screenplay? When you write a script on spec, that is, when no one's paying you to write a screenplay based on your own idea, you're paying for it with time. You're hoping, or maybe praying, that someone will eventually buy that script and compensate you for that time. But what happens if a producer loves your story but can't do anything with it without making substantial changes? Who pays for that time? In Australia, and for that matter anywhere outside the top tier of the professional film industry, producers don't have a lot of money to pay for script development. That shouldn't come as a big surprise. I mean, if 99% of screenplays fail, it stands to reason that 99% of script development money is going to go down the gurgler. Even the big Hollywood studios expect to buy 10 scripts for every one that goes into production. They pay for it out of the profits from their blockbuster hits, but independent producers don't have that kind of money floating around. So who pays to develop the screenplay? The producer can't afford to throw money at you, and you can't afford to throw time at a never-ending stream of speculative projects. Conclusion? Roadblock. The money problem. Now, the second problem I only discovered once I started teaching. Problem number 2 is the teaching problem. Let me ask you this. Who would be a more effective guide on a path through the unknown? Someone standing on the path next to you with no clear visibility of where your path actually leads, or someone at the other end of the path shining a light on every step of the way? Pretty obvious, right? But think about all those Google results. How much of all that information, all those books and courses and workshops are offered by people at the other end of the path? People who are looking for screenplays and know what they need in a script. What I found when I started teaching was that in Australia, and the same is true back home in LA too, and everywhere really, most of the people teaching screenwriting were either writers doing a day job to pay the bills, or teachers who've been taught how to teach screenwriting. Now, I'm not pointing any fingers. It has to be that way, because consider this. It takes about 2 hours just to read a properly written feature-length screenplay. To give notes and feedback takes 3 to 4 hours minimum. I've spent up to 20 hours giving detailed script notes on a single screenplay. How could an active producer afford to do that? Or afford to do that with a group of writers? He couldn't. The producers are busy producing, so the only people teaching or assessing or giving script notes are people who do that for a living. So the person you want to guide you can't, and the person who can guide you has no real way of knowing if their help can lead to your sale. Conclusion? Roadblock. The teaching problem. The third problem goes a little bit deeper. Problem number 3 is the reading problem. Screenwriters are kind of caught between two worlds. Let me ask you this. Who do you think would be better suited to screenwriting? A writer who loves words or a movie person who loves the production process? Movie people manipulate images on a screen to have an impact upon a viewer. Writers manipulate words on a page to have an impact upon a reader. Writing has to be read to be appreciated, but movie people are movie people. Their end goal is the film, so they're not as enamored of the written word. And since screenplays are never actually read by the audience, movie people tend to think of the screenplay as an interim stage, something for their benefit rather than for the audience's benefit. So it's flexible and pliable and changeable. But great writing is cinema on the page. It requires mastery of language. Creating a richly detailed, intricately complex and compelling storyline with dynamic characters and punchy dialogue, that's a craft. And it's so delicate, in fact, that any problems in your screenplay get amplified when you put them on the big screen. So the great irony is that screenwriting is an incredibly challenging craft where no one actually sees your writing. They only see an interpretation of your work. So it's a somewhat thankless job for a writer who's all about the word experience, and it's a reluctant job for the movie person who's all about images and sound, because you have to inspire with words a creative process that leaves those words behind. Conclusion? Roadblock. The reading problem. Any serious approach to screenwriting must directly address these 3 fundamental problems. If it doesn't, we're spinning in circles. That's why I developed a whole new approach to screenwriting. It's called Fast Screenplay, and before you run screaming away from my sales pitch, please hear me out. Even if you don't join us, just understanding how I tackle these 3 problems will open up a world of possibilities for you. Fast Screenplay is a daily, full immersion, step-by-step system designed to prepare you for a professional screenwriting career by aligning your unique creative voice with the producer's business needs. Fast Screenplay solves the money problem by giving you a systematic approach to creating producible screenplays in as little as 2 months. Fast Screenplay solves the teaching problem thanks to my unique experience, combining 15 years of teaching with 15 years of searching for screenplays to produce. And Fast Screenplay tackles the reading problem by creating a system that guides itself, a process that's designed to require little to no feedback. Now, I'm not going to give you a story formula. I'm not going to give you character templates. Fast Screenplay is not a paint-by-numbers approach to screenwriting because real producers can't actually use that kind of stuff. You need a system that leaves you free to turn your unique imagination into any kind of story, from an independent art house film to a big Hollywood blockbuster. It just needs to be a screenplay producers can actually use. Now, I'm going to reveal the whole Fast Screenplay system in a free ebook called Fast Screenplay, The Screenwriting Roadmap. But first, as promised, I want to thank you for your time by showing you why most writers will never sell their work. I want to send you my breakthrough ebook, The Missing Ingredient, Why 99% of All Screenplays Fail, and How to Put Yours in the Top 1%. In this video, I've talked a lot about the 99% problem, but what is it that producers actually do need in a screenplay? What's that missing ingredient that will put yours in the top 1%? This report, believe it or not, has the answer. Once you understand the missing ingredient, you'll understand why most writers are just spinning in circles. To get your free report, simply click here or follow the link in the description and join our free email newsletter. Then, a couple days later, I'll send you the screenwriting roadmap, which will reveal precisely how Fast Screenplay works. Or click here to visit our website and learn more about this revolutionary system and get started today. We cover absolutely everything from that very first spark of an idea all the way through the entire process to your unique deal through 7 distinct phases and over 200 detailed daily action steps that snap together to become a fast and intuitive creative process. Remember, producers need screenplays. The movie doesn't get made until the screenplay gets written. These 3 fundamental problems will always be there, but together, this is how we conquer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing your screenplay in the top 1%.